February is International Box Brownie Camera Month, and we will be celebrating by using this Kodak Brownie Hawkeye. I'm James Fisher, and this is Vintage Illumination Photography. One of the difficult aspects about using this Brownie Hawkeye camera is that it takes 620 film. 620 film has been discontinued by Kodak and every other film company for a number of years. 620 film is the same size as 120 film. The only difference is the actual spool that the film is rolled on. There are places that will re-roll 120 film onto a 620 spool and supply it for those cameras that are really fussy and will only work with a 620 size. Lucky for us, this Hawkeye is not that fussy, and we can cram the 120 spool into the camera. The caveat with doing something like that is you do need to have a 620 spool to roll the film onto. Then, after processing, you need to save that 620 spool and use it again as a take-up spool. Let's put a roll of Fomapan film into the Hawkeye camera. I should note that I've actually never shot a roll of film with this camera, so it's going to be a first for both you and me. First thing we do is we will turn the lever to open the camera disassembles. Here is the 620 spool. We will move it from the supply side to the take-up side. Let's open our roll of Fomapan. I went through this once before where I used a knife to cut this, so we're going to try a pair of scissors this time. There we are. I did put a roll into this the other day, and it is incredibly tight. Hungary, where the Fomapan film is made, must use incredibly thick plastic, and it's very, very snug on how that fits. So we're going to roll the 120 film through, tab right in that slot, right there. Now let's roll the film. Put the back of the camera and lock it. Now we will roll the film until we see the number 1 through this red window. My plan for the International Brownie Camera Days was to take you along, was to do a live vlog and use the Brownie camera to do the photographs of some various scenic things and explain how the camera works, why it works the way it does, how Kodak could make a camera so simple and with no adjustments whatsoever and still be able to get good and usable images. But one thing about International Brownie Camera Days is it takes place in February. Another thing that takes place in February in Michigan is winter, and it's been very, very cold and very windy here in what we call the Blue Water area, or in Port Huron, Michigan. I've gone out the last couple of days and done some photographs, but it has been so windy there was no way that I would ever be able to get any type of usable sound to explain what's going on. So I made the decision we're going to explain the Brownie camera and what's going on in a whole different way. Let's go inside and get warm. We're back inside from the cold, and I'm warming up with a piping hot cup of coffee here. It may be a little too hot. This is a nice Italian roast. If you'd like to help support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. I have a link in the description below. Cameras like this were incredibly easy for the average user to operate. There's absolutely no settings on this camera like the settings that exist on more sophisticated cameras. The simplicity and ease of use of consumer cameras like this made them incredibly popular with the public. We have finished all 12 exposures. You can see it says 12 right there in the finder on our Brownie Hawkeye camera. This is the Brownie Hawkeye flash model, so we're going to wind the rest of the film out of the camera. We're going to do that by turning this knob until the film fully winds out of the camera onto that take-up spool, which is the 620 spool. It's all on that spool. We open the camera by flipping this lever, opening it up, and our fully exposed roll is on the spool right here. So let's take the film out of the camera. We simply pull it this way, it releases on that side, and the spool lifts right out. So we simply need to peel that backing off. Then we can wrap this around and stick it all together. And there we have our exposed black and white film from the Brownie Hawkeye camera. Now that we've removed the film from the Brownie Hawkeye camera, it's time to develop it. I'm not going to show that in this video. I'll link to a video right here where I did a full process of 120 film in D76 Developer. What we're going to do this time will be almost identical, but instead of cutting the developer to a 1-to-1 mix, we'll use it full strength. I'm going to do 2 or 3 rinses at the beginning to get rid of that blue-green anti-halation backer that is so prominent on that Fomapan 200 film. I have really enjoyed doing these photographs with this incredibly simple camera from 1952. No f-stops, no shutter speeds, no nothing, just point and shoot. What an amazingly simple camera to use. If you'd like to participate in Brownie Camera Days, I'll put a link right here on the screen, but also in the description below that'll take you to their website. You can look at past photographs from other years where they've had Brownie Camera Days and photographs from this year, and if you hunt, you'll be able to find the one photograph that I sent them that we did from this roll. If you like the content you see, please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Another thing that would be great is if you could subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Then you'll know every time a new video posts. The time has come. Let's look at the photographs that have been created with this Brownie Hawkeye flash camera from 1952.
When I first saw her, a black cat crossed my trail. Bad news and high heels made me go off the rails. But one look at her, she's oh so fine. I know I've got to make her mine. She's just my kind, I can't get her off my mind. She's my kind of woman, I need her so. Yeah, my kind of woman, I can't let her go. 5 feet of dynamite will keep me dancing through the night. You know a black cat got nothing on a lucky man.